At 5 a.m., your alarm clock rings. You get out of bed to start a new day in a damp and musty lodging house. The wallpaper is peeling at the corners. The window faces a brick wall. You have learned not to look at either. A middle-class woman's place is in the home. You grew up learning this, taking lessons at home, playing the piano. Your favourite lessons were poetry lessons. You would recite Shakespeare's poems from memory, with emphasis and emotion.
To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether it is nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune.
Your father loved listening to you. You are now the girl your mother told the neighbours. She's gone far away. Everyone in your street knows what that means. You know what it means too. It means you no longer have one. Your mother doesn't speak to you anymore. She was always a distant woman, but after your father passed away, she stopped talking to you. Something changed inside you, to disappear, to leave, or to exist. You can't find the name for it. This desire brought you to London, to this musty-smelling boarding house room, to the peeling wallpaper and the brick wall and the alarm clock that rings at 5 a.m. You do not regret it. You leave the boarding house. The street smells just as musty as the room. The only difference is that it is colder. London in November does not apologise for itself. Before rehearsals begin, you spend your mornings tailoring. Because an actress who is not in a leading role earns only enough to cover her costume costs. The mathematics of the theatre are simple and merciless. You perform. You are not paid enough to live. You find another way to live. You perform again. The tailor shop is within walking distance. Everything you need is within walking distance, because you cannot afford anything that requires a cab. When you push open the door, Jade is already there. She always is. A warm cup of tea, some bread, a little cheese, arranged on the corner of the work table, as if she knew exactly when you would arrive. She always does. You have the same time every morning. You do not understand why this woman helps you so much. She can barely take care of herself. Her shop is small, her rent is high, her fingers are as worn as yours. Every morning you wonder. Every morning you drink the tea anyway, because you need it, because it is warm, because it is the first warm thing you will touch all day. You will realize years later that she needed you too, but that is later. For now you drink the tea and eat the bread and go to rehearsals. Victorian-era theatre stages are ruthless. The sharp smell of gaslight, the dust of the stage, money earned just enough to buy a costume, rehearsals lasting for hours every day. That morning the alarm rings. You wake up. In the dark, cold room, you stare at the ceiling. You aren't sick, but you cannot get up. You think of your mother. You wonder how she would greet you if you went back. You do not know how long you've been lying there. Maybe 5 minutes, maybe an hour. The path you've walked every day for 2 years feels incredibly long today. London's cold, wet sidewalks seem to be pulling you in, making it hard to walk. Jade has made your tea, just as she always does. You sit down and stare at the tea for a long time. You do not even hear her come up beside you. Jade touches you for the first time. She hugs you. If I go back, will my mother take me in? Jade doesn't say a word. She just hugs you. Jade smells of lavender. You remember the day your mother pulled the lavender plants out of the soil in your garden. She said to your father, "I know why you planted these, and I don't want them anymore." You hugged your father. He hugged you. He held you a little longer than usual. You go off to the theatre with the smell of lavender from Jade on your coat. A few people waiting to see if they'll get the lead role this time. You look at the faces around you. Some show hope, some sorrow, some anxiety, some exhaustion. What expression is on your face? You remember you haven't looked in the mirror at all today. Someone says, "Debbie." You are not sure at first that it is your name. "Yes, Debbie," says the director. "This lead role is yours." Then you hear another voice. "Male role." You look around again. The other girls look at you, some with sympathy, some with relief, some with that particular look people have when they're glad it isn't them. You stand very still, and then something happens that you do not expect. You think about it. You think about the male characters you have memorized, the weight they carry in their voices, in their silences, in the space they are permitted to occupy on a stage. You have learned them to understand the text. You have never considered inhabiting them. Perhaps you think, London has been preparing you for something I did not know to want. You say yes. What has your life been preparing you for without telling you? At 5 a.m., your alarm clock rings. The room is different now. The wallpaper does not peel. The window does not face a wall. You have been practicing in it every morning for 4 years. You are not looking for yourself. You have stopped looking for yourself in mirrors some time ago. You are looking for the weight, the particular quality of stillness that male characters carry, the way they occupy space without apologizing for it. You have watched men for 4 years, the way you once watched other actresses, studying the architecture of how they stand, how they hold their hands, how they enter a room as if the room were expecting them. The roles that fail are the ones where you perform masculinity, put it on like a costume, and hope no one notices the seams. The roles that work are the ones where you find something true inside the character and stand there, simply, without the corset of anyone's expectations. You have not worn a corset in 3 years, not on stage, not off it. You still go to Jade's. Not every morning. You no longer need the income from tailoring. But you go. 3 times a week, sometimes 4. You bring the bread now and the cheese. You make the tea while she sits. Her hands have stiffened. The fine work has become difficult. The small stitches, the delicate repairs. She does not mention it. You do not mention it either. You simply do the work that her hands can no longer do while she watches and occasionally corrects you. The director calls you in on a Tuesday. His office is small and smells of pipe tobacco. He does not offer you a seat. He looks at you across the desk for a long moment, the way directors look at actors when they are deciding whether to say the thing they've already decided to say. Then he says one word, Hamlet. Nothing else. Just that. You walk directly to Jade's. It is late, past 10, the shop dark, the street quiet. You knock once. It opens immediately. She is not surprised. She steps back to let you in. You sit at the work table where you have sat every morning for 4 years. Hamlet, you say. She sets the cup in front of you. She sits down across from you, a long silence. Then she says very quietly, To be or not to be. You both laugh, properly, completely, the kind of laughter that arrives without warning and leaves the room feeling different than it did before. That night, walking back through the November streets, you say the words aloud to no one. To be or not to be. London does not answer. She chose to be. What did you choose to leave behind in order to become who you are now? The theatre opens in January. You have been preparing for 6 months. Not in the way you prepared for other roles. This is different. Hamlet is different. Hamlet is the role that requires you to bring everything you have ever learned about loss and set it on a stage and let an audience watch you carry it. The letter arrives in March. It is delivered to the theatre addressed in a formal hand you do not recognize. You are informed that Her Majesty Queen Victoria will attend a performance of Hamlet on the 14th of April. You read the letter twice. You put it in your coat pocket. You walk to Jade's. The 14th of April is a cold night. You stand in the wings before the curtain rises and feel the theatre differently. The particular silence of a full house waiting, the weight of it, the specific quality of attention that 300 people in the dark give to a lit stage before anything has happened yet. The curtain rises. You walk onto the stage. Afterward, you are brought to the royal box. The Queen is smaller than you imagined. She looks at you with the direct, unhurried attention of someone who has spent a lifetime deciding what deserves her notice. You are very convincing, she says. Thank you, ma'am, you say. I have had considerable practice at being something other than what people expect. She looks at you for a moment longer than the occasion requires. Then she says, very quietly, so that only you can hear, so have I. She moves on. You open the theatre in the spring. It is yours. The lease is in your name. The decisions are yours. The stage is yours. You call it the Jade. Something has shifted after the Queen's visit. Not overnight, or perhaps overnight, but you have not noticed it immediately. The invitations come first. Then the reviews change in tone. Then the doors that have always been closed begin, one by one, to open. You hire women for roles that other theatres give to men. You produce plays written by women, under their own names, not the initials they use to disappear behind. You offer the stage to girls who come from far away, girls like you once were. Jade's hands have stopped working entirely by now. The shop is closed. She lives in 2 rooms above it, quiet rooms, full of books, smelling of lavender. You visit every day. You bring the bread and the cheese. You make the tea. You sit across from her at the small table and talk about the theatre, about the new productions, about the girls you are training. One afternoon in October, the light pale and thin through the window, she folds her hands on the table and says, "I need to tell you something." You look at her. Something in her voice tells you that the sentence has been waiting for a long time. "Your father and I," she says, "we grew up together. His father would not allow the marriage. I had you. He took you home when you were 2 years old. The woman you grew up with, she knew. She always knew. When your father died, she wrote to me. She said, she wants London. She wants the stage. She has nowhere to go. Let her come to you." The room is very quiet. You think of your mother, the woman you have called your mother, standing at the garden's edge, her watching the lavender come out of the ground. Jade dies in the autumn of that year. Jade made the tea every morning for years before she said what she needed to say. Is there someone in your life who has been loving you in a language you are still learning to read? On the last morning, she held your hand and looked at the window. The lavender moved in the October wind.